So you want to be great at Madden. You're tired of EA or the Madden gods telling you you're not gonna win this game. Yes, there's RNG and fluke in it like any other competitive sport, but the goal of any sport where there is a winner and there is a loser is to stack the deck so heavily in your favor that you win despite all of those adversities. So my news to you today, my friend, is that you can win more games of John Madden football. We just have to stop playing the victim card. You see, Madden is a perfect cross between chess and Call of Duty because you have to pick your play, make your pre-snap adjustments, your pre-snap reads, and then you actually have to execute the play. Now, you can be a master at any one of these components, and that's why I feel it's actually a great game. It's not well coded, but in theory, Madden is a really cool game. Football is a really cool game because you have a pre-snap and post-snap execution. Let's start with knowledge. In other words, pre-snap adjustments. Do you know what play beats what coverage? Do you know what coverage beats what play? Here's probably my number one tip out of this whole video. If you take nothing else away for how to be better at Madden, it's this one tip. Here's the breakdown of how every single loss should ever look for you going forward. First, you play the game. Second, you adjust in the game to what your opponent's doing. And thirdly, the most important, if you cannot beat what your opponent did in the previous game, you take your butt to practice mode and you lab against it until you figure it out. That is the part we all skip. I'm guilty of it too. You just load up a new game, you clear your head, you forget about it, blah, blah, blah. But the reality is, they showed that you have a chink in your armor.
He's right, Squidward. That thing would never protect you. It's downright puny.
Trust me, it's fine.
And it is your job to figure out how to beat what they just did to you. I recommend recording and watching back all of your losses. Now, you may not have a computer to do this, but every single console these days, you're able to record what just happened. So if you lose a game, your opponent was applying really frustrating concepts, giving you a lot of difficulty, just go ahead and record that last 30 minutes. Another 2 easy ways to get knowledge: ebooks and MCS games. Now, I want to preface, ebooks are helpful because they teach you what works so you don't have to find it. There are 2 elements, again, to mastering a scheme. There is finding something that's worth mastering, and then there's the execution phase. You skip the design phase when you buy an ebook. Last part in the knowledge section is experience over scheme. What I mean by that is if you've been using an offense for months or even days, cherish the experience that you have running that scheme. Just because you see someone else using a different scheme does not mean your scheme isn't good enough. Instead, try applying concepts they are using in their scheme and apply it to your own scheme. For instance, if gun bunch, you see the flood concept, a streak, a corner route, and a flat route. Apply that to your scheme. Can you develop a flood concept? You might use a running back, a tight end, and a wide receiver instead of 2 wide receivers and 1 tight end, but the concept is the exact same. You worked really hard to develop the experience that you have running a scheme. Don't give that up for the latest glitch play. And if there's a defense giving you issues that you know a different scheme can beat, before you switch, ask yourself 2 quick questions. Can I fix this with AP? And can I fix this with creativity? Obviously, we have AP in the game. Use it to cover your weaknesses. You can either use it to enhance a strength or cover a weakness. In this case, I'm recommending if you've used the scheme and you're very comfortable in this scheme against most defenses, 90% of defenses, don't lose that 90% to address the 10% of defenses that gives you trouble. Looking at execution now. Look, I don't think you guys realize how much the pros truly sit in practice mode. David T has spent hours practicing the same freeform over and over and over for hours just to master every little nuance with it. Pick a trick. Pick any trick, anything that you find interesting, whether it's a ball carrier move, a throw that you think you can make, a run to set up the blockers. Pick any small detail and just hammer it into practice mode. Know every little thing about that play. I'm a strong believer that if you simplify the game and you master a couple things, doesn't need to be a lot of things. If you master them, if you know how to do this ball carrier move better than anybody else, or if you know how to freeform a really hard ball better than anybody else, that is what sets you apart. That is what's going to make the meta adjustments that every defense uses on everybody else, but they can't use them against you because you have something specific and special that they can't replicate. And the other thing is just simply play the game. Learn through experience. Don't be afraid to fail. I'm guilty of it. When I don't play Madden for an extended period of time, I always avoid it. It's just like the gym. You ever skip too many workouts in a row and you're like, I'm not going back to the gym because I'm going to get my butt kicked as soon as I go back there. Well, that's the same with Madden, because you know that while you weren't playing the game, someone else was. Playing the game is a good place to start. That would be about a C tier. If you want to elevate your C tier to an A tier, pick one thing every single week to improve on. Pocket presence, progressions, quick hiking, defense adjustments, all great things to think about each and every game. If you want to be great at Madden, the next thing you have to do is ignore the toxicity. If you win, you're a nerd, touch grass, mom's basement, glitcher, and if you lose, endless mocking, etc. Does it sound like either option pleases your opponent? No. Neither option makes your opponent happy. So don't worry about it. Don't worry what a pro thinks of what you do or complains like, how can you have fun playing the game like that? Look, we all know that winning is fun. And if you say to yourself, I don't care what my opponent thinks, just think back to the last time you played a streamer and you knew they were live. Were you tempted to hop into their stream to say what people are thinking about you? I thought so. Next, we have to accept Madden is not the NFL. It's played at a bird's eye view, and there's 20 players on the field that cannot think or anticipate. These players will act according to their ratings, their pre-snap assignments, and pre-canned animations. The game is won by which player can exploit the other team's computer players better. Now that you have the knowledge of what beats what and hours of practice, the last thing holding you back is looking right back at you in the mirror. You. And to fix that, you need to find every high-stakes Madden game you can find. High-stakes Madden games are relative. For some, it's playing season games. For others, MUT champs, others, money games, others, MCS games. You just have to push yourself out of your comfort zone, so when you enter a high-stakes, high-pressure situation, you're ready to deliver. And that, my friend, is how to be better at Madden.